Hey everybody, it's Gregory Rice. We're here in West Warwick, Rhode Island, and we're at Cayouette's shoe rebuilding with Mr. Bob Fontaine. Bob, how's it going?
Very good, Greg. How are you?
Awesome. We just spent some time in Bob's shop, and he is a master of his craft. So Bob, why don't you tell us a little bit, how'd you get involved? Were you a kid when you first started working with boots and leather?
I probably started about 25, 30 years ago. I was working in perishable department and I hurt my back. So my brother-in-law owned a shoe repair store, and I used to go in on Saturdays, do a little polishing, this, that, and I loved working with my hands because I'd done carpentry, auto mechanics, and he said, "You'll do good at this." And then you just pick up the trade, you start learning things, and you like to see what the finished product looks like. Some of the products you come in, it's not fixable. Some you can real fix it. A lot of times dogs chew the leather, we fix that. It's a challenge for everything we do, and we appreciate what we do. And we take pride in our work. Anytime somebody comes picks up their stuff at the shop, I always take the shoes out of the bag and show them. I said, "This is what," and they love it.
I'm a customer, a happy customer. I don't know if you can see here. Here we go.
Thank you so much.
Bob did some wonderful work to my boots here, and I feel like wearing leather, it's a lost art. People are so interested in buying cheap stuff nowadays. It doesn't last.
No, it doesn't.
What's your thoughts on like footwear? Do people appreciate it anymore, or is it just disposable?
Well, it's a lot of people get disposable because they don't want to spend the money on a good pair of shoes.
Right.
But as you know, when you get older,
Yep.
your feet have to be comfortable. When you're young, in your teens, 20s, now
You
you
don't
say,
notice.
"Oh, I'm just going to buy these shoes and I'll throw them out when they're done."
Right.
But now you get 30, 40 years old, now you're on your feet longer.
Your knees,
And
your
your
back.
knees, your back, you want to make sure they're level and your feet are comfort, because without your feet being comfortable, you're going to feel bad all day long, and at nighttime, especially when you're older, you got enough of aches and pains.
Right.
And then you don't have to do any more of it, so you want to stay away from it. And if you take care of your shoes, you go on an interview, you want to look presentable, and
Right.
you feel better. Your shoes are clean. You walk into some place that they're all mucky and everything, and everybody says, "Oh, okay, what are we going to do? This guy doesn't take care of himself. What's he going to do in our business?"
Right.
You know what I mean?
Good point.
So it's a lot of people, they look at these little things.
What do you got there, Bob?
I got a lady's pair of shoes. She needs a set of heels on them. So we got to grind the back out and make them even. Okay, so I got to start up the machine. I already have the piece of rubber cut. So once I put it, it's nice and flat, so it's level again. So you always glue it first, then you let it dry a minute or two. And that's what I have over here already set up. I was in a pair of cowboy boots, and I had to build up the back with leather because it was worn so far. So I got two pieces of leather, I glued them, and now you just press them together because I got to get that level again for the customer. And then if we walk right over here, I can throw it in the press and let it sit a few minutes. While that's doing that, we can get the other black one, and same thing. Now it's nice and level now. So I can throw it in the press. And you're always constantly doing like 2 or 3 jobs at a time. Wait for the glue to dry, this, that. Bring it over and trim it up a little bit. And the excess, you can just trim it out as close as you can so you don't have to do that much sanding. And it's getting closer. And then I'll bring it over to the nailer. Because I already glued it, so we just nail it down too.
How long are those nails, Bob?
You can go from anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to like almost 1 3/4 inches.
How about those ones there? The
On
ones you're
these,
using?
these are probably about not even 1/2 inch.
Wow.
Like you said, and then like it's just a machine. It's a wire brad because you don't need it to go that far because you've got glue in there already.
So glue and tack.
Yeah, I always do that so it's not going to fall off. A lot of guys just tack them or they just glue them, and I don't like doing that.
And one one thing on that topic is Bob actually does the shoes for our state troopers here in Rhode Island. You were telling us about that.
Yep, I have the contract for their boots and everything.
Those
so
are
we build the
beautiful boots.
Oh yeah, we take care of them. Hey, they take care of us, we have to take care of them.
And how many laces? They got like 20 laces, right? They go all the way up.
It's one lace, it's just a long,
Like,
lace.
it just
And
crosses.
you gotta intertwine it all. You have to know what you're doing to get them laced up. Because if you just hand it to somebody, they're gonna say, how do I lace these?
Right. Where are those boots from? Like, who makes those boots? Do you
Oh,
know?
I think it's out in the Midwest somewhere. I don't know the exact name. But they come to the state Rhode Island and they fit them for their boots.
Wow.
Because they're very expensive.
Custom.
Oh yeah, they're all custom fit and everything.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're nice boots.
And we were also looking at, what is it, a motorcycle one piece?
Yeah, one piece outfit, and a lot of times they need leather patches on them, or the zipper breaks. We repair the zippers on them, and they all got different sponsors, so we have to change the patches over. And it's nice because we're into everything. We're into any type of leather we can do. We look at it.
How about
It's
zippers?
a challenge. Zippers on leather jackets, like Craig has on, we replace those.
Anything with vests?
Yep, the vest, we do the zippers, we do the snaps, anything like that we do. And this guy does a lot of motorcycle racing, so he has a lot of different sponsors. So as you can see, we do all the patchwork for him. We stitch it all into the leather for him. And this is what we put on the back last week. That's his sponsor's number and everything. And a couple of years ago, we had a different sponsor. We had to take some off and we can put them back on. But he likes what we do, and it's interesting because you never have the same job. It's always something different, and it's a challenge. And we've done it so many years. We know what we can do and what we can't do.
What can't you do?
Well,
Nothing.
sometimes, well, the things we can't do is like the things we shouldn't do because we don't want to waste the people's money to
Gotcha.
fix it.
What's
and my
something
time
of
to
that
fix it.
example? Maybe you look at something, you're like, I don't know.
Right. If a dog chews the boots real bad,
Gotcha.
it's like, no,
Just
we
get a
can't
new
do
pair.
it. Get another pair. I'd rather see you invest in a new pair and me work on those
Right.
than you throwing your money away because it's not going to look the way I want it to, so it's not going to go out the door, so you're not even going to get them.
Right.
It's like some of them are bad.
How about over our shoulders here? Maybe a little show and tell.
Oh yeah, okay. I had a lady that just dropped a pair of boots off last week, beautiful boots, and she needs them stretched out.
Meaning what?
She puts them in, and her calves are a little big, so we can stretch them out a little. We have a machine. It's a calf stretcher, so you put it down, you crank it up, you wet it down. Takes a few days. And you can stretch them out, and I'll show you on another boot right here. I have the
Yeah.
calf stretcher in the boot.
This one here?
Yes. And as you can see, the back is getting stretched out more and more because from about halfway up on the calves, that's where it starts getting tighter.
So you put this in and you kind of just
You wet the boot down,
wet it,
right?
let it
and
sit.
And you let it sit, and this is a metal crank. And you just crank it up, and you got some leather attachments inside here that takes some space out for you.
So it's just pushing slowly
Right.
over time, just kind of.
And you need the stretching fluid because otherwise you rip the leather. And then I gotta buy a pair of boots that are $500.
Right.
And I don't want to do that. So it takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. 95% of the time we can stretch them out. Otherwise you'd have to splice them and put gussets in, which you don't want to do. 95% of the time you can just stretch them out. Because I always tell them, as long as you can get your foot in them,
Right.
we can stretch them out so they're comfortable
Right.
for you. Yeah.
And what about folks at home like me? When I bought my boots, I didn't feel 100% snug in them. Like I felt like I really had to get in them. What's your advice to people that maybe never owned cowboy boots? What should they do when they go and buy their first pair?
Like Greg said, make sure you can get your foot in them. And try them both on. And if they're a little snug, that's not too bad because of those stretch out. You don't want to buy a pair you put your foot in and
you're
it's
already
flopping around because leather stretches. And as Greg knows, it's going to take you a couple times to break them in.
Yeah.
But once you break them in, they're like slippers.
Gloves.
Oh yeah.
I don't even feel like I'm wearing shoes.
Right. Yeah. And like we were doing the black pair of boots earlier, we put sole guards on the bottom because they're leather. And leather is very slippery. But a lot of people dance. They do country western dancing, so we find out what they're doing with their boots before we tell them what we should put on the bottom. Like Greg goes outside a lot with those. He gets better traction, his feet are warmer, and to replace that sole guard on the bottom, it's a lot cheaper than replacing the whole sole on the boot. So when he has to have it done, it's a lot easier, and we're not ripping the boot apart, putting it back together, because you don't want to do that a lot. Because a lot of guys, when you take them apart, they don't put them back together the right way. The boot's not going to feel the same. So, but that's when we do everything. We try to take it apart, put it back original, and we take our time with what we do. Here's a pair of boots I was doing, in the process of doing. I was putting sole guards on them. So you're seeing the leather sole off on the bottom, right? You're grooving in a little bit. So when you put the sole guard on, I'll show you. I'll just glue it up like I did with the heels.
So you put that on the shoe now, after that was sanded, right?
Right, I sanded it to get a couple like pits in there.
Yep.
Because if it's real flat, it doesn't really stick that good. And then like you said, we'll just let that sit too. And after that's all completed, I have this one. And as you can see, it's already, I put it on the press. I banged it all down nice, leveled it all out. And then once you bring it back over to this other machine, we have like a press on here too to get the edge. So you can just make sure it gets nice tight because it's glue. You want to make sure it's in there good. And then now we just have to trim it and sand it. We can back up over here and we have the sander. So we'll just put it on the sander. On the edges. Okay. And then we'll bring it over here, we put wax on the edge. It's Yankee wax. Which one? This is a real soft brush.
Yep.
This is harder, so it like almost like melts the wax in, and it seals it up nice for you. So like you said, now when I want to polish it, you can put a little polish on there. And you bring it to the last wheel over here, and it kind of puffs it out real good. There you go.
You just added probably a decade of life to these just with those. Because I was wearing them out. I was sliding around, walking in the sand and the snow.
Yep.
And I never knew that existed.
Right, and you didn't know.
And now I got the traction. I feel like I play basketball in them.
Yeah, and that's why I tell everybody. I said, when you come in, I let you know what's available for your shoe. You spend a lot of money on the shoe, you don't want to wear it out that quick.
So Bob, if anybody wants to get in touch with you and get some work done, how do they do so?
Just call Cayouette Shoe and Leather Repair. We're in West Warwick, Rhode Island. And the number is 828-7240. As you can see, I don't call it that much.
And what's the address here?
It's 100 Archibald Ave, West Warwick.
It's great. It's accessible. You guys are open 6 days a week, right?
5 days a week. We're here Tuesday through Saturday.
Awesome.
And our hours are Tuesday, 8:30 to 4, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and 8 to 1 on Saturday. But if somebody needs us to come in at 7:30 in the morning to drop something off, just call me the day before. I'll come in early. Or if you get out of work at 4:30 and stay here till 5, I do that. But just with the pandemic hours, we cut back a little bit, and like every company's doing it. So we just want to accommodate you.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay, thank you very much, Greg.
Awesome to hang out with you. If you have any questions for me, put them in the comments field below. I'll get right back to you. Once again, Greg Rice here at Cayouette's Shoe Repair in West Warwick with Mr. Bob Fontaine.